is not easy at all. It is an opulence itself. It requires patience and determination. Utsaha nichaya dhairyat. So one needs enthusiasm, determinations, and patience. So thank you all for accompanying us in this journey. Okay, so let's begin the chapter. Before that, we'll offer Mangalacharan to seek the blessings of the Lord and his devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prachatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Padma Mataji, would you like to read first 8 verses, please?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Text 1. Sri Maitreya said, thus Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila and wife of Kardama Muni, became free from all ignorance concerning devotional service and transcendental knowledge. She offered her obeisances unto the Lord, the author of the basic principles of the Sankhya system of philosophy, which is the background of liberation, and she satisfied him with the following verses of prayer. Text 2. Devahuti said, Brahma is said to be unborn because he takes birth from the lotus flower which grows from your abdomen while you lie in the ocean or at the bottom of the universe. But even Brahma simply meditated upon you, whose body is the source of unlimited universes. Text 3. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature, and for that reason, the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation takes place. My dear Lord, you are self-determined and are the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities. For them, you created this material manifestation, and although you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. This is inconceivable to us. Text 4. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have taken birth from my abdomen. O my Lord, how is that possible for the Supreme One who has in his belly all the cosmic manifestation? The answer is that it is possible, for at the end of the millennium, you lie down on a leaf of a banyan tree, and just like a small baby, you lick the toe of your lotus foot. Text 5. My dear Lord, you have assumed this body in order to diminish the sinful activities of the fallen and to enrich their knowledge in devotion and liberation. Since these sinful people are dependent on your direction, by your own will you assume incarnations as a bow and as other forms. Similarly, you have appeared in order to distribute transcendental knowledge to your dependents. Text 6. To say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face, even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. Text 7. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. Text 8. I believe, my Lord, that you are Lord Vishnu himself under the name of Kapila, and you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Brahman. The saints and sages, being freed from all the disturbances of the senses and mind, meditate upon you, for by your mercy only can one become free from the clutches of the three modes of material nature. At the time of dissolution, all the Vedas are sustained in you only. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Padma Mataji. So this particular chapter is entitled Activities of Lord Kapila. This is the last chapter in this canto, third canto. And with this chapter, it also the teachings of Lord Kapila are concluded. After Kardama Muni had left for the forest, Devhuti, the mother of Kapila Dev, she inquired from the Lord Kapila, over, I think, a number of chapters, over 10 chapters actually. So Lord Kapila has been instructing Mother Devahuti on the signs of devotion. So after hearing the signs of devotion and the spiritual knowledge, Mother Devahuti was enlightened, and she became free from any ignorance that may be there in her, and she offered prayers in glorification of Lord Kapila. So she's aware that Lord Kapila is her son, and she glorifies him. She treats him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, if you see Mother Yashoda never thinks that that Krishna is her son. Nanda Baba never thinks. Even they may think for a moment, but they will be covered with Yoga Maya, another energy of the Lord. With that energy, they never think actually Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just imagine if Mother Yashoda thinks my little Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the dealings between the mother and child are different. Just like here, Mother Devahuti is offering prayers to Kapila, knowing Kapila to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So she says that, oh my Lord, you are the source of Lord Brahma. So from your navel, the lotus comes, lotus stem, and then eventually lotus flower. On top of that lotus, Brahma is born. And from your body, all the universes come. It is said that from the skin pores of Mahavishnu, the universe comes out, come out. Hmm? So from your body, the universes come, and there are the universes are within you, within your womb. Hmm? How come you appeared in my womb? You are the father of Lord Brahma. You are you are the source of all universes. The universes actually, they reside or they exist within your womb, but you entered into my womb. I can't, I'm not able to understand this fact. Hmm. How did you appear in my womb? Hmm. Uh, you know, and then she says, uh, at the time of devastation, at the end of Brahma's day, you lie on a banyan leaf as a child, and you suck your own toe. Mm. It is said that you know Krishna thinks that devotees always they glorify my lotus feet, they worship my lotus feet, they always meditate on my lotus feet. So let me taste my own lotus feet. They are worshiping my lotus feet all the time, and so let me taste my own lotus feet. But as an adult, you will not be able to suck his own toe. So he takes the form of little boy and lies down on a banyan leaf, uh, and as a little baby he sucks his own toe. You are that person. It is called Vatapatra Sai, this form of the Lord. Vatapatra means banyan leaf. Sai is another name of Krishna. So you are that kind of personality. And then she says, these two verses are very important, and they are memory verses. Text 6 and text 7, they are about the holy name. How glorious is the holy name of the Lord. Even, you know, there is no qualification required for a person to become a great devotee. The only qualification is that if one chants your holy name, they are eligible, eligible to be worshipped by great people. Let us recite these two verses, and we will also read a little bit of purport as well. But this one, text 6, we will recite. So text 6 and 7 are memory verses, and you can do a little more homework at your free time. Yannamadeya Shravananukirtanat Yat Pravanadyat Smaranadhapi Kvachit Shwadhopi Satyaha Svanaya Kalpate Kuta Punaste Bhagavan Darshanat. Even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastime, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. So this is the benediction. Even if he utters the holy name, or hears about Lord's pastime, or offers obeisances, or even remembers him, they become eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. Mm. And that is the only qualification that is required. Mm. It is said, Shuchiyaya Muchiyaya Shuchiyaya Yat Yat Krishnan. Shuchiyaya Muchiyaya. So let me say in English, by giving up the holy name, a clean person becomes unclean. Shuchiyaya Muchiyaya Yat Krishna Tyaje. So a clean person becomes unclean by giving up the holy name. And then the contrary is also true. An unclean person becomes clean by taking up the holy name of the Lord. It is said in the Vishnu Sahasranama, Mangalanam cha mangalam yo, pavitranam cha pavitram yo. It is the among purifiers, the holy name of the Lord is most purifier. Among auspicious thing, the holy name of the Lord is the most auspicious things. And there is another verse about the holy names. Text 7. Aho bata shwapachato gariyan yajivagre vartate namatubhyam te pustapaste juhu sasnurarya brahmanuchurnama grunantiyete. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the family of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all good manners of audience. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. So what is the qualification? That is, that they have to actually chant the holy name of the Lord. One who is chanting the holy name of the Lord constantly must have executed all other types of activities, Vedic activities, such as performing sacrifices, studying Vedas, taking bath in holy pilgrimages, etc., etc. When one had done all such type of activities for a long time, then one come to the platform of chanting the holy name of the Lord constantly. We chant, but we don't chant constantly. But this is about chanting those who chant constantly. Padmamati, you can read the first paragraph here, please.
Sure, Prabhuji. As it is stated in the previous verse, a person who has once offenselessly chanted the holy name of God becomes immediately eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. One should not be astonished by this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. One should not disbelieve or think, how by chanting the holy name of the Lord can one become a holy man, to be compared to the most elevated Brahmana? To eradicate such doubts in the minds of unbelievers, this verse affirms that the stage of chanting the holy name of Lord is not sudden, but that the chanters have already performed all kinds of Vedic rituals and sacrifices. It is not very astounding, for no one in this life can chant the holy name of the Lord unless he has passed all lower stages, such as performing the Vedic ritualistic sacrifices, studying the Vedas, and practicing good behavior like that of the Aryans. All this must first have been done. Just as a student in a law class is to be understood to have already graduated from the general education, anyone who's engaged in chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, must have already passed all lower stages. It is said that those who simply chant the holy names with the tip of the tongue are glorious. One does not even have to chant the holy name and understand the whole procedure, namely the offensive stage, offenseless stage, and pure stage. If the holy name is sounded on the tip of the tongue, that is also sufficient. It is said herein that Nama, a singular number, one name, Krishna or Rama, is sufficient. It is not that one has to chant all the holy names of the Lord. The holy names of the Lord are innumerable, and one does not have to chant all the names to prove that he has already undergone all the processes of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. If one chants once only, it is to be understood that he has already passed all the examinations, not to speak of those who are chanting always, 24 hours a day. It is specifically said here, Tubhyam, unto you only. One must chant God's name, not, as a Mayavadi philosophers say, any name, such as demigod's name or the name of God's energies. Only the holy name of the Supreme Lord will be effective. Anyone who compares the holy name of the Supreme Lord to the names of the demigods is called Pashandi or an offender.
Thank you,
The
Mataji.
whole
Yeah, that I will stop there. Thank you very much. So, in our movement in ISKCON, we have been advised by the spiritual master, our founder Acharya, to chant a minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. Mm. So, there is no problem. People can chant more, but that is the minimum. Prabhupada said. Again, following the order of spiritual master is also very important. If some of you are not chanting the holy names of the Lord, please take inspiration from these two purports, these two texts, that it is so potent. It is so potent, and human life is very short. We don't know what would happen tomorrow. Mm. I just received a news that one of my family members had passed away. Is of my age exactly, 50 years. Mm. So while this body is still there, we can make best use of this bad bargain. So yeah, please take up chanting the holy name of the Lord. Prabhupada said, although there are so many mantras, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had selected this particular mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When we read when we read books and hear about the Lord, then it inspires us. It acts as a reminder. Sometimes we mechanically do this chanting, or mechanically engage in devotional process without proper consciousness, where only it becomes a ritualistic process. We just do. But when we read and hear, then it acts as a reminder. Then the consciousness develops, right consciousness develops. So that's why it is important that we read and hear while chanting. It helps us, because we read this paragraph, these two shlokas. It helps us. It motivates us to carry on chanting. Okay, and after saying this, then she said, I am offering my obeisances to you. You are non different from Vishnu. You are Brahman. You are Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like that, she just offered her prayers to her son, Kapila Muni. So let's move on to the next section. Manjula Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here.
Could you kindly read from text 9 to 19, please?
Yes, please. 1 second. I've got the book open as well, so I could probably even read from
you
here.
can read from there, no problem.
Okay. Text 9. Thus the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapila, satisfied by the
We lost you. Hare Krishna. Can anybody hear?
No.
No, Prabhuji.
No,
can't.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
Sorry.
We are okay. We can hear you now again.
Okay, sorry.
We lost.
Sorry. My dear mother, the path of self-realization, which I have already instructed to you, is very easy. You can execute this system without difficulty, and by following it, you shall very soon be liberated, even within your present body. My dear mother, those who are actually transcendentalists certainly follow my instructions as I have given them to you. You may rest assured that if you traverse this path of self-realization perfectly, surely you shall be freed from fearful material contamination and shall ultimately reach me. Mother, persons who are not conversant with this method of devotional service certainly cannot get out of the cycle of birth and death. Shri Maitreya said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Kapila, after instructing his beloved mother, took permission from her and left his home, his mission having been fulfilled. As instructed by her son, Devahuti also began to practice Bhakti Yoga in that very ashram. She practiced Samadhi in the house of Kardam Muni, which was so beautifully decorated with flowers that it was considered the flower crown of river Saraswati. She began to bathe 3 times a day, and thus her curling black hair gradually became gray. Due to austerity, her body gradually became thin, and she wore old garments. The home and household paraphernalia of Kardama, who was one of the Prajapatis, was developed in such a way by dint of his mystic powers of austerity in yoga, that his opulence was sometimes envied by those who travel in outer space in airplanes. The opulence of the household of Kardama Muni is described herein. The bed sheets and the mattresses were all as white as the foam of milk. The chairs and benches were made of ivory and were covered by cloths of lace with golden filigree, and the couches were made of gold and had very soft pillows. The walls of the house were made of first-class marble, decorated with valuable jewels. There was no need of light, for the household was illuminated by rays of these jewels. The female members of the household were all amply decorated with jewelry. The compound of the main household was surrounded by beautiful gardens with sweet, fragrant flowers, and many trees which produced fresh fruit and were tall and beautiful. The attraction of such gardens was that singing birds would sit on the trees, and their chanting voices, as well as the humming sounds of the bees, made the whole atmosphere as pleasing as possible. When Devahuti would enter that lovely garden to take a bath in the pond filled with lotus flowers, the associates of the denizens of heaven, the Gandharvas, would sing about Kardama's glorious household life. Her great husband, Kardama, gave her all protection at all times. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. So I was thinking that, there was no need of light, for the household was illuminated by the rays of these jewels. We should have some system like this. The energy prices are shooting up now. If we have these kind of jewels, if marbles, then naturally our house will be illuminated, most eco-friendly, system they had that at that time. Okay. So Mother Devhuti, then after glorifying her son, Kapila Muni replied, he spoke, he was happy, and he said, my mother, so please kindly follow Bhakti Yoga, the path that I had instructed to you, which will give you the ultimate benefit. And by following that process, you become fearless. Hmm? And having said that, Kapila Muni took permission from Mother Devhuti and he left home. So husband left home some time ago. Now the son also and daughters got married. They left home, and son also left home after giving this signs of devotion. Mm. Uh, so he left home because his mission is fulfilled. He delivered this knowledge to Mother Devhuti, and following the instruction of our son Kapila, Devhuti started practicing Bhakti Yoga, and she used to bathe regularly, and with that, our body became so thin. And here it is also said the opulences of the palace of Kardama Muni were so nicely described. Although he is, we know that she's the daughter of Manu, Swayambhu Manu, princess, a royal family. But you can see here our household paraphernalia, what kind of things they had. There were white bed sheets, mattresses, chairs, benches covered by cloth of lace with golden things. Everything was decorated, so many valuable jewels that produce lights and beautiful gardens. And fruit-bearing trees, etc., etc. Whole atmosphere was very pleasing, and the Gandharvas would sing the glories of Kardama Muni's household life. Although she's in the midst of opulences, she's not attached to these opulences. She knew that very well that these will be taken away from me at any time. As long as my body is there, I can relate these opulences to my body, but my body is temporary. All the opulences, all that are linked to this body, are also temporary. That was thing that's she was thinking. And she did not just simply enjoy forgetting the Lord or forgetting devotion, forgetting her own self. She knew it very well that she has to execute the process of devotion to attain ultimate goal of the life. This is an instruction that we can also learn. However many things we may have, we can use them in the service of the Lord. Being unattached, we can just use them in the service of the Lord. It doesn't come, that ability to engage everything in the service of the Lord doesn't come in a overnight, but we can try and practice. It might take some time. Okay, so next we will, I think I've selected text 11 here. Let's see to read the purport. Oh, small purport, I'll read it. Material existence is full of anxiety, and therefore it is fearful. One who gets out of this material existence automatically becomes free from all anxieties and fear. One who follows the path of devotional service enunciated by Lord Kapila is very easily liberated. Sometimes we may think, we are safe. But this world is such that we have to go through some or other anxiety. That is the nature of this world. But one can be freed from this anxiety following the path of devotional service instructed by Kapila Muni to Mother Devhuti. Okay, so we'll read the next section, text 20 to 32. Sorry, 20 to 32. Would like to read Meena Mataji, Meena Easy Mataji, sorry, Meenakshi Madhavi Mataji. Are you able to read?
Okay. From
Text 20 onwards, please. Hare Krishna, can't hear you.
Yeah, 20. Hare Krishna. Although her position was unique from all points of view, saintly Devahuti, in spite of all her possessions, which were envied by even the ladies of the heavenly planets, gave up all such comforts. She was only sorry that her great son was separated from her. Text 21. Devahuti's husband had already left home and accepted the renounced order of life. Then her only son Kapila left home. Although she knew all the truths of life and death, although her heart was cleansed of all dirt, she was very aggrieved at the loss of her son, just as a cow is affected when her calf dies. O Vidura, thus always meditating upon her son, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Kapila Dev, she very soon became unattached to her nicely decorated home. Text 23. Thereafter, having heard with great eagerness and in all detail from her son, Kapil Dev, the eternally smiling personality of Godhead, Devahuti began to meditate constantly upon the Vishnu form of the Supreme Lord. Text 24 to 25. She did so with serious engagement in devotional service because she was strong in renunciation. She accepted only the necessities of the body. She became situated in knowledge due to realization of the absolute truth. Her heart became purified. She became fully absorbed in meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all the misgivings due to the modes of material nature disappeared. Text 26, her mind became completely engaged in the Supreme Lord, and she automatically realized the knowledge of the impersonal Brahman. As a Brahman realized soul, she was freed from the designations of the materialistic concept of life. Thus, all the material pangs disappeared, and she attained transcendental bliss. Text 27, situated in eternal trance and freed from illusion impelled by the modes of material nature, she forgot her material body, just as one forgets his different bodies in a dream. Text 28, her body was being taken care of by the spiritual damsels created by her husband, Kardama. And since she had no mental anxiety at that time, her body did not become thin. She appeared just like a fire surrounded by smoke. Text 29, because she was always absorbed in the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, she was not aware that sometimes her hair was loosened or her garments were disarrayed. Text 30, my dear Vidura, by following the principles instructed by Kapila, Devahuti soon became liberated from material bondage and achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul without difficulty. Text 31. The place where Devahuti achieved her perfection, my dear Vidura, is understood to be a most sacred spot. It is known all over the three worlds as Siddha Pada. Text 32. Dear Vidura, The material elements of her body have melted into the water and are now a flowing river, which is the most sacred of all rivers. Anyone who bathes in that river also attains perfection, and therefore, all persons who desire perfection go bathe there.
Thank you very much, Mataji. So that's so nice. So it is said that she was not attached to any of her household paraphernalia or any of the opulences. Mm. However, she was attached to one thing. She was always thinking about her son. Mm. And there was an attachment. She was unattached to everything except to her son, because her son left. So, and Prabhupada writes, how come she was very much attached to her son. And she says she was very aggrieved at the loss of her son, just as a cow is affected when her calf dies. So, but Prabhupada writes why she was why that is that is not a problem, or let's see, and actually by thinking her own son, she became unattached to her nicely decorated home, because he was no different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thinking of Kapila actually, made her realize, and the detachment came within. So let's read the purport to text 22. Meenakshi Mataji. Haribol, are you there?
Sorry, Prabhuji, I'm reading away fast and not muted. Hare Krishna, sorry. Here is a practical example of how one can elevate oneself in spiritual advancement by Krishna consciousness. Kapila Dev is Krishna, and he appeared as the son of Devahuti. After Kapila Dev left home, Devahuti was absorbed in thought of him, and thus she was always Krishna conscious. Her constant situation in Krishna consciousness enabled her to be detached from hearth and home. Unless we are able to transfer our attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no possibility of becoming freed from material attachment. The Srimad Bhagavatam therefore confirms that it is not possible for one to become liberated by cultivation of empiric philosophical speculation. Simply knowing that one is not matter but spirit, soul, or Brahman does not purify one's intelligence. Even if the impersonalist reaches the highest platform of spiritual realization, he falls down again to material attachment because of not being situated in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. The devotees adopt the devotional process, hearing about the Supreme Lord's pastimes and glorifying his activities, and thereby always remembering his beautiful eternal form. By rendering service, becoming his friend or his servant, and offering him everything that one possesses, one is able to enter into the kingdom of God, as it is said in Bhagavad Gita. Tato mam tatvato janatva. After discussing discharging pure devotional service, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in fact, and thus one becomes eligible to enter into his association in one of the spiritual planets. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. So the sum and substance of this particular purport is we can't get rid of our attachment. every being has some attachment. So better we transfer that attachment to the Lord and as devotees. Mm. Um, Same attachment, if the same attachment, if we divert to the material things, it will cause the bondage. Mm. We will just have to take repeated birth and death. However, the same attachment, if we just transfer to the devotees and the Lord, that will liberate us from this material world. Mm. Uh, and here, just by thinking, our son, she became completely detached from everything. Because Kapila is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mm. And she was always thinking the form of Kapila, form of Lord Vishnu, and by executing devotional service, she one day gave up her body, and her bodily elements have been melted into liquid, and it formed a river, it is said. And the place where Mother Devahuti had left this world is called Siddhapada. Mm. Uh, so she went back to Godhead uh, um, by executing the devotional service. Mm. Okay, so we will do the last section of this chapter uh, from text 33 onwards. So, who would like to read? Please, I need a volunteer.
I can read,
Text.
Prabhu.
Okay, please go ahead. Text 33 onwards.
Okay. My dear Vidura, the great sage Kapila, the personality of Godhead, left his father's hermitage with the permission of his mother and went towards the northeast. Text 34. While he was passing in the northern direction, all the celestial denizens known as Charanas and Gandharvas, as well as the Munis and the damsels of the heavenly planets, prayed and offered him all respects. The ocean offered him oblations and a place of residence. Text 35. Even now, Kapila Muni is staying there in trance for the deliverance of the conditioned souls in the three worlds, and all the acharyas or great teachers of the system of Sankhya philosophy are worshipping him. Text 36. My dear son, since you have inquired from me, I have answered. O sinless one, the descriptions of Kapila Deva and his mother and their activities are the purest of all pure discourses. Text 37. The description of the dealings of Kapila Deva and his mother is very confidential, and anyone who hears or reads this narration becomes a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is carried by Garuda, and he thereafter enters into the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you, Prabhu. So there are two purports, small purports we read. So please stay tuned, Prabhu. So we will read the purport to text 34. Okay.
Purport. It is understood that Kapila Muni first went towards the Himalayas and traced the course of the river Ganges, and he again came to the delta of the Ganges at the sea now known as the Bay of Bengal. The ocean gave him residence at a place still known as Ganga Sagara, where the river Ganges meets the sea. That place is called Ganga Sagara Tirtha, and even today people gather there to offer respects to Kapila Deva, the original author of the Sankhya system of philosophy. Unfortunately, this Sankhya system has been misrepresented by an impostor who is also named Kapila, but that other system of philosophy doesn't tally with anything described in the Sankhya of Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you. So it is said that the Kapila Muni is still, there, and he resides at a place called Kapila Tirtha or Ganga Sagar Tirtha, where Mother Ganges meets at the ocean, Bay of Bengal. So there is a Kapila ashram underneath somewhere. We know that when the sons of Sagara, when they were digging the earth, they went into Patala, and they also met Kapila there. So that is the place. Ganga Sagar is the place where Ganges meets the Bay of Bengal. That's where the sons of Sagara were actually burned to ashes. So the Kapila ashram is also there. And there is another purport that I want you to read, is text 37. Yeah, please.
Sure, Prabhu. Purport. The narration of Kapila Deva and his mother Devahuti is so perfect and transcendental that even if one only hears or reads this description, he achieves the highest perfection goal of life, for he engages in the loving service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt that Devahuti, who had the Supreme Lord as her son and who followed the instructions of Kapila Deva so nicely, attained the highest perfection of human life. Thus end the thank you.
Yeah, go on.
Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the third canto, 33rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Activities of Kapila.
Okay, so this is the Falashruti. What happens if we hear or read the instructions given by Kapila Deva. Anyone who hears or reads this narration becomes a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and he therefore enters the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So let us hope and sincerely pray that we also one day become devotees of the Lord. So with this, we end third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's been a long journey, but it was very enjoyable, so this is only a summary study. It's an overview. We are only just giving the overview and also reading some of the important purports. However, if you have more time, please do read each and every purport of each text. But this will kind of motivate us. Otherwise, because it is voluminous, many devotees, they never open Srimad Bhagavatam. They read one bit, one portion, and they keep it aside. So we thought we would do this summary study. At least, we will be able to grab something from that wonderful discourse. Once again, I would like to thank each and everyone for being on this journey so far. Let us continue, and enter into the fourth canto from next week onwards. Thank you so much. Anybody has any comments, any questions, any corrections, please do so. We have 4 minutes.
Prabhuji, what is the name of that river they say where you go and bathe yourself? What was the name of that river?
Which river? Where Mother Devahuti?
The name of the river is the name of the river where Devahuti's body mixes into the. And if anyone bathes in that river, what is the name of that river, Prabhuji? It's not mentioned anywhere.
It is not mentioned here, and I do not want to speculate.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Do not. But we can bathe ourselves in the holy name.
Yeah.
So that is, yes, I was also looking to just find what is the name of that river. But initially they stayed at Bindu Sarovara. We know that. On the bank of river Saraswati they stayed, but we don't know the name of that river after our body melted into water. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. May I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
First of all, it was a very good session, very good explanation of the various scripture. So there is when you do the japa, it says from the tongue. What is the right way to do the japa, like Hare Krishna mantra, Maha mantra?
See, again, different people do it differently, and we also have japa seminars conducted by our senior devotees. I can think two devotees' name on top of my head who are kind of very expert in this area. One is called, you can make a note and Google in the YouTube, Mahatma Das, Mahatma Prabhu, and Sachinandana Prabhu, Sachinandana Maharaj. I can send their names to you. They spend a lot of time, in actually on Harinam, Japa retreats. They conduct Japa retreats as well. But Prabhupada simply said that we chant and hear. And that's it. When we chant, when we say Hare Krishna, we just have to hear that mantra. That is it. Nothing else. Prabhupada always said, when we chant little, say when we are doing japa, we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We just have to hear that sound vibration. That is what Prabhupada said. But mind is so fickle, and it wanders around, and there are a number of things that you can do to control and bring it back, bring back that mind. There are various techniques that are given by these two devotees. So you may kindly refer if we want to improve our japa quality.
Thank you.
Sure. Hare Krishna. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari
Hari
Hari.
Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.